يسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين. Assalamu alaikum once again, my dear students. Inshallah, today we are going to be doing Surah Al-An'am from Ayat 74 to 110. Today is 23rd of Rabiul Awwal, depending upon where you live. And inshallah, we'll be doing our lesson 44. From Ayah 74. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ قال إبراهيم لأبيه آذر. Recall when Ibrahim said to his father Azar. Azar was of course the name of the father, and there is a different version in Torah that maybe he was Ibrahim alayhi salam's uncle, but Quran clarifies that he was his father. Very rarely, I have also seen some of the Muslim scholars mentioning him as uncle, but that's not the case, right? Quran clearly tells us that it was his father. He was his father. أَتَتَّخِذُوا أَصْنَامًا آلِهَةً. Do you take idols as gods? إِنِّي أَرَاكَ وَقَوْمَكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. Certainly I find you as well as your people completely lost. Yani, what are you doing? You're worshipping anything other than Allah, and Allah is, and if you're worshipping anything other than Allah, then this is a clear misguidance. وَكَذَلِكَ نُرِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ مَلَكُوتَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And that's how we showed Ibrahim the realms of the heavens and the earth. وَلِيَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُوقِنِينَ. So that he joins the firm believers. Muqinin from yaqeen. Yaqeen is the highest form of believing, right? You have iman and you have yaqeen. So iman is a higher level of conviction is yaqeen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Ibrahim alayhi salam the signs so that he does not only believe but firmly believe, have conviction. You look at the sky, you observe a tree, you look at the fruits. How come or how is it possible that they come out and there's no creator, and they ripe and they fall off the tree, and it's happening by itself? It is not, right? It's not happening by itself. When you see the entire process, you'll declare that this is happening, and there is someone who's carrying it out, who's allowing it to happen, who's making it happen. And this is the Rabb who's doing all of this. In the nation of Ibrahim alayhi salam, we know that they were idol worshippers, they were star worshippers, they were king worshippers. All these worshipping or all these forms of shirk was prevalent. So the following ayat that we are going to be studying in a while, they are going to be a demonstration for his nation that, okay, you think that, this is the star, this is God, and this is the moon, and this is the sun, and these are the gods. Let's see, let's analyze. And it is said that Ibrahim alayhi salam was the first person to engage in rational thinking. A lot of people come these days and they are like, oh my god, why science, why this, why not only the Kitabullah? Ya salam, my dear sisters, please note that pondering over the signs of Allah in the universe, the Ayatul Kawni, if you will, it is as rewardable, it takes you as close to Allah as the ayat in the Quran can possibly take you, because both are the signs of Allah. The ayat within the Quran that we read and the ayat within the universe that we observe, right? Those ayat that we see within the universe, those ayat are also the signs of Allah, right? So when we have studied the meaning of the word ayat multiple times, and we said that there are two kinds of ayat: the signs within the Quran, which is the ayat that you read, the verses that you read, and the ayat within the universe. When you see the stars and the moon and the sun and the trees and whatnot, the mountains, the ibil, the camel, right? So what happened is his rationality First up, he never did shirk. A lot of people are like, oh my god, was he doing shirk in considering the possibility of the star being the god, or the sun being the god, or the moon being the god? No, it was just like an argument, or perhaps a thought process in which you say you think the star is you think that the star is the god. Let's take the star for the sake of argument. Let's consider it to be the god, and then analyze rationally. And we see that the rational analysis led to what? It led to the fact that there is just one God, right? Uh, so let's get started from ayah 76, where it says, فَلَمَّا جَنَّ عَلَيْهِ اللَّيْلِ. Thus when the night grew dark, رَأَى كَوْكَبًا, he saw a star. قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي. And he said, this is my Rabb. So as per the nation, this is my Lord, like the star. So let us analyze, or let us see whether it is deserving of the worship, because I need proof. I'm a wise man. I have a brain. I have rationality. I need proof, right? فَلَمَّا أَفَلَ. But when it said, قَالَ, Ibrahim alayhi salam said, لَا أُحِبُّ الْآفِلِينَ. I don't like those who disappear. Because if the object of worshipping is disappearing itself, how will it take care of those who worship it? Should it not always be present and omnipresent and omnipotent to be able to manage the affair of the worshippers? So, how can this be a god when it is disappearing? I'm very tempted to share a verse from Allama Iqbal, but then again, I don't know how am I going to translate it. He said, सितारा क्या मेरी तकदीर की खबर देगा, वो खुद फराखी अफलाक में है ख्वार ज़ुबूं. That what is the star going to tell me, of fortune telling and astronomy and all of that, or astrology? That what is a star going to tell me about my taqdeer, my destiny? It itself is lost in the vastness of the universe, cosmos. فلما فلما رأى القمر بازغا. And when he found the moon shining. Okay, moon is shining. Let's try this for the sake of argument. قال هذا ربي. He said, this is my Rabb. Okay. Then what happens? فلما أفل. But when it also said, yani the moon also said, قال لئن لم يهدني ربي. He said, if my Rabb does not guide me. Now he's guiding his true Lord, because you also know where the true Lord is. لأكونن من القوم الضالين. I will certainly be of the people who are lost. Because he knew that if Allah did not guide him, no one would be able to guide him. And if Allah did not help him to obey him, yani obey Allah, no one could help him. And the last analysis comes. فَلَمَّا رَأَى الشَّمْسَ بَازِغَةً. When he saw the sun shining brightly, قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي. He said, this is my Rabb. هَذَا أكبر. This is big. Again, another rational argument. What do you want to see the object of worship as? Magnanimous, big, huge. But then what happened? فَلَمَّا أَفَلَتْ. But when it said, it is also following the laws. It's no different than the other creations. It's no different than the star and the moon. How come? Who is different then? The different is the one who has made the laws. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ. He said, O my people, إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِّمَّا تُشْرِكُونَ. I have nothing to do with all that you associate with Allah. خلاص. Clear. إِنِّي وَجَهْتُ وَجْهِيَ لِلَّذِي فَطَرَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ حَنِيفًا. With my full attention, I turn my face exclusively to the one who created the heavens and the earth. I know that one who is causing the star and the moon and the sun to set, the one who himself never sets and is free from all the shortcomings that the created beings have, he is my Lord. وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And I am not at all of the mushrikeen, those who commit shirk. وَحَاجَّهُ قَوْمُهُ. And his people started arguing with him. قَالَ. He said, أَتُحَاجُّونِ فِي اللَّهِ وَقَدْ هَدَانِ. Do you argue with me about Allah? And the truth is that He has guided me. Some people choose misguidance for themselves and make sure that others are misguided as well, right? So Ibrahim alayhi salam's nation was doing something to that effect. وَلَا أَخَافُ مَا تُشْرِكُونَ بِهِ. I don't fear those whom you associate with Him. You want to scare me from your idols? I'm not scared from them. I'm not scared of them. You might be scared of them because you grew up considering them your God. That was your darbiyah. That was a part of the environment that you grew up in. As for my belief system, I believe that they can't harm me one bit. إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ رَبِّي شَيْئًا. Except if my Rabb himself wills something. Then there can be a possibility. وَسِعَ رَبِّي كُلَّ شَيْءٍ عِلْمًا. My Rabb encompasses everything in knowledge. أَفَلَا تَتَذَكَّرُونَ. Then will you not remember? Right? That's, think about it. Use your brain, use your aql. Will you not receive admonition? وَكَيْفَ أَخَافُ مَا أَشْرَكْتُمْ. And how can I fear those whom you associate with Allah, of course? وَلَا تَخَافُونَ أَنَّكُمْ أَشْرَكْتُمْ بِاللَّهِ. While you are not scared of the fact that you have associated with Allah, you should be afraid of associating partners with Allah. You are messed up. Why should I be scared? So you see, in this day and age, a similar example can be that emotional blackmail. Be scared of the curse of that Babaji, because you should be scared of him because he's such a, I don't know, he's such a at a high pedestal. Be scared of the curse of that Peer Sahib. Why? Why should I not be afraid of Allah instead? When I associate that Peer Sahib and Babaji with him, that saints and pious people and whatnot with Allah, that is more deserving of the fact that it is something to, it's something more, it is something to be scared of more. ما لم ينزل به عليكم سلطانا, for which He has not sent down to you any authority, right? فأي الفريقين أحق بالأمن. So which of the two parties deserve to feel secure? Yani you or I who just only worship Allah, should I be more tranquil? Should I feel more secure, or should you be feeling more secure who is associating partners with Allah? In kuntum taqilun, in kuntum ta'lamun, if you really know. الذين آمنوا ولم يلبسوا إيمانهم بظلم. Those who believe and do not mix their belief with dhulm. What is dhulm? Dhulm, the definition of dhulm is putting something to where it doesn't belong. When you associate partners with Allah, the partners don't belong there. So you do dhulm. Shirk is dhulmun azim, depriving Allah of His rights of being the only one, being the only creator, being the only sustainer, being the only one. Right? Which we cannot do in any case. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمُ الْأَمْنُ. They who will attain security or peace or tranquility. Tranquility is for those who worship one God only. Just think about it. Having multiple gods, meaning making an effort to be able to meet the requirements and commands of all those gods, all the demands that place upon you. How difficult it is going to be. This is the Lord of rain, and this is the Lord of risk, and this is the Lord who gives children, and I have to, follow different pattern to make each one of them happy. How can this person ever achieve any level of tranquility? So the natural consequence of shirk is to have no peace, no tranquility, anxiety, restlessness. Also, the fact that shirk comes in various different forms and shapes. And a very important question that we need to ask ourselves, where am I going, or where am I doing shirk in my life? It's a question that you can just ask yourself. If I'm in trouble and the first person that I think of, or the first being that I think of, is someone other than Allah, on purpose, sometimes things come and we don't have control over it. But if that's the first maybe be some form of shirk. Not a bigger shirk, of course, asghar one. Nevertheless, a shirk. One of the things that I try to train myself is anytime a problem comes in my head, I ask myself a question: is my Lord bigger or is the problem? And I just try to, whatever little bit my brain can encompass, think about the magnanimity and the um of the universe as such. Wallahu ala kulli shayin qadir. And this really helps me calm down. This really helps me, to understand that no, my Lord is better than whatever this trouble that I'm going through. Anyway, وَتِلْكَ حُجَّتُنَا آتَيْنَاهَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ عَلَى قَوْمِهِ. And that was the argument which we provided Ibrahim against his people. نَرْفَعُ دَرَجَاتٍ مَنْ نَشَاءُ. We exalt in ranks whoever we want to. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ حَكِيمٌ عَلِيمٌ. Certainly your Rabb is wise and knowing. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ إِسْحَاقَ. And we gifted him with Ishaq, وَيَعْقُوب, and Yaqub. كُلًّا هَدَيْنَا. We guided each of them. وَنُوحًا هَدَيْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِ. And we guided Nuh from before. So Nuh alayhi salam actually can be categorized as the first messenger, because Adam alayhi salam, he was the first Nabi, prophet, and after many generations, people engaged in shirk. And that's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Nuh alayhi salam as the first messenger. Um, and then, of course, وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِهِ دَاوُودَ وَسُلَيْمَانَ وَأَيُّوبَ وَيُوسُفَ وَمُوسَى وَهَارُونَ. And from his offspring, Dawood, Sulaiman, Ayub, Yusuf, Musa, and Harun, alayhim السلام. وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And that's how we reward those who do ihsan. Ihsan is to try to reach a level of excellence. وَذَكَرِيَّا وَيَحْيَى وَعِيسَى وَإِلْيَاسَ كُلٌّ مِّنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. And we guided Zakaria, Yahya, Isa, and Ilyas as well. All of them were from the righteous ones. وإسماعيل واليسع ويونس ولوطا. And we provided Ismail, Al-Yasa, Yunus, and Lut. وَكُلًّا فَضَّلْنَا عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. And we favored them all over the world. وَمِنْ أَنْبَائِهِمْ وَذُرِّيَّاتِهِمْ وَإِخْوَانِهِمْ. And from their forefathers, children and brothers. وَاجْتَبَيْنَاهُمْ وَهَدَيْنَاهُمْ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. We chose them and guided them to a straight path. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarded Ibrahim alayhi salam. His conscious decision to worship Allah only and reject all form of shirk whatsoever, that was rewarded in a form that so many prophets and messengers came from his offspring and came from his lineage. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarded him. ذَلِكَ هُدَى اللَّهِ. That's the guidance of Allah. يَهْدِي بِهِ مَن يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. He guides through it whoever he wants from his slaves. وَلَوْ أَشْرَكُوا. Had they committed shirk, لَحَبِطَ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. All what they had done would have become worthless. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحُكْمَ وَالنُّبُوَّةَ. These were the ones whom we blessed with scripture and wisdom and prophethood. And all the names that we studied so far, Adam, Idris, not Adam, Nuh, and Yusuf and Isa, and all of them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them scripture to some of them, gave them wisdom, gave them prophethood. فَإِن يَكْفُرْ بِهَا هَؤُلَاءِ. So if these people, yani the people of Makkah, also disbelieve in this ayah, and if the people of Makkah are rejecting this book, if they are rejecting the hikmah, wisdom, and they are rejecting the nubuwah, then don't worry. فَقَدْ وَكَّلْنَا بِهَا قَوْمًا. Then we have entrusted it to another people. لَيْسُوا بِهَا بِكَافِرِينَ. They will not disbelieve in it, or they are not going to be ungrateful for that. Right? So don't worry. If the people of Makkah are not responding, we are going to be entrusting this to people, referring to whom? Referring to the people of Medina, referring to the people of, or referring to the Ansar here. And these people are going to listen to you. They are going to accept the message. So, sometimes our primary addressees, the primary people whom we are addressing are not responding. Yeah, sometimes we're talking to our spouses and the spouses are not listening and are not responding, but our children are hearing. And Allah guides their hearts. And it's so surprising. So whatever effort you are making and putting in the path of haqq is an effort that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to respond to. It will not go in waste. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ هَدَى اللَّهُ, those are the people whom Allah guided. فَبِهُدَاهُ مُقْتَدَى مُقْتَدِهِ فَبِهُدَاهُ مُقْتَدِهِ, so follow their guidance. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا, say, I do not demand any compensation for you. And if you're giving the message of Allah, I don't need anything in return. Prophet ﷺ never asked for any monetary compensation or any other form of compensation. Money, position, marriage, yada yada yada. No. In fact, he gave everything to his mission. At the age of 40, he had a business, he had a livelihood. But everything was given to the cause. I'll tell you something interesting. It's interesting. It is said that Prophet ﷺ never paid zakah. He never did. Why? Because he never had enough to pay. Right? Zakah, it has to be in a certain amount of money in a certain amount of time. He never had that. He never asked people for anything except to believe in one God and His Messenger. That's what his life was. In huwa illa dhikra lil alameen. This is nothing but a reminder for all the words. Just a humble reminder that these surahs are towards the last part or the last stay in Makkah, right? And by this time, the Jews of Medina, they have heard the claim of the messenger. So some things are being addressed which they have questioned. Right? They said Allah will never reveal anything to anyone. In their stubbornness, they went far away. So some of the ayat, inshallah, we'll be studying in this context. وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ. People have not appreciated Allah as is His right to be appreciated. إِذْ قَالُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَى بَشَرٍ مِّن شَيْءٍ. When they said Allah did not send down anything to a man. Where did this come from? So by the time this surah was revealed, as we said, that the news had reached Medina and the Jews of Medina were like, no, 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 nothing, nothing. No book has been sent. Khalas. قُلْ مَنْ أَنزَلَ الْكِتَابَ الَّذِي جَاءَ بِهِ مُوسَى. See, who revealed the book which Musa brought? If Quran is not any book and Allah will not reveal anything to anyone, where did Torah come from? Nuran, Hudal Linnas, as a light and guidance for mankind. Right? Who revealed that book? And you know you have that book. What do you do with that book? تَجْعَلُونَهُ قَرَاطِيسَ. You, yani the Jews, make it into pages. تُبْدُونَهَا وَتُخْفُونَ كَثِيرًا. Disclosing some of it and hiding most part of it. And we have studied earlier that the book, the access of the book or Torah was only limited to the scholars of the Jews. Right? And what they used to do, they would hide a major portion from the book, of the book from the people. Right? So that they can issue their own fatwas, they can retain their own, their own positions in religion. Right? So deen would be something that is their property. They would mold it the way they like. They will give the fatwas the way they like. وَعُلِّمْتُمْ مَا لَمْ تَعْلَمُوا أَنْتُمْ وَلَا أَبَاؤُكُمْ. And you were taught what you and your forefathers never knew. They were never being taught. How were you taught that? قُلِ اللَّهُ, say it was Allah. How was it possible that without the involvement of God by sending the books, who else did it for you? Who else taught you that? Who else sent the book? ثُمَّ ذَرْهُمْ فِي خَوْضِهِمْ يَلْعَبُونَ. Then leave them to play in their useless arguments, irrational arguments, unintellectual, unintelligible, inconsistent arguments. What have you done to your deen? Made it a joke? So go ahead, keep playing, keep having fun. Because as for this kitab, وَهَذَا كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ مُبَارَكٌ. And this is a blessed book which we have revealed, this Quran. مُصَدِّقُ الَّذِي بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ, confirming that which preceded it. وَلِتُنذِرَ أُمُّ الْقُرْآنِ وَمَنْ حَوْلَهَا. And that you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, may warn the residents of the mother city and its surrounding Qura, the mothers of the city, which is, of course, Makkah. Makkah was the hub. And every country, has a city which is somewhat more important than the rest of the cities for various reasons, right? So Makkah was the same, and that is the reason that is it was labeled as Qura, mother of cities, for trade, for the position of Kaaba, and for so many other reasons. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِهِ. And those who believe in the hereafter definitely believe in him, in it. وَهُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. And they also guard their prayers. What is the importance of prayer here, right? Please remember that Salah serves as a reminder for us 5 times a day that Tawheed, only one God. You have to stand before Him, you have to pray to Him, you have to ask Him, you have to worship Him. No shirk. Absolutely no one else to ask from. Absolutely no one else to bow down in front of. Absolutely no one else to prostrate in front of. Absolutely not. Right? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to take our salah seriously, because it serves as a very, very important reminder. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا. And who can be more unjust than the one who invents a lie against Allah? أو قال, or claims, أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ وَلَمْ يُوحَى إِلَيْهِ شَيْءٍ. I have received revelation while nothing has been revealed to him. وَمَنْ قال, or the one who says, سَأُنزِلُ مِثْلَ مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ. I shall also reveal like the word that Allah has revealed. Oh, subhanallah, big claims there. I can also reveal something that Allah has revealed. وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذِ الظَّالِمُونَ فِي غَمَرَاتِ الْمَوْتِ. So if you could only see that these zalimeen are in the agonies of death. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ بَاسِطُوا أَيْدِيهِمْ. When the angels will be extending their hands, what will the angels be saying? أَخْرِجُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Hand over your souls. الْيَوْمَ تُجْزَوْنَ عَذَابَ الْهُونِ. Today you will be given a humiliating punishment. بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ غَيْرَ الْحَقِّ. As you used to say about Allah what you had no right to say. So this transition from this world to the next world can be unimaginably distressful. If you have ever experienced any pain in the heart, in the chest, anywhere in the part of the body where you feel that your soul is leaving your body, you can perhaps relate to what I'm saying. It's very distressing. And this is the reason that I always encourage my students, because I do it myself, that probably the very first du'as that I make is a dua for the smooth transition from this world to the next world. That is going to be our very new experience for so many reasons. Ya Allah, please send my apologies. Give me a moment. My apologies. Very wrong timings. Anyway, so you can make dua to Allah too. Um Ya Allah, please send the angels who take the soul of pious people to collect my soul. Because one of the qiyamah that we will experience is at the time of the death. What kind of angels will come to collect my soul? Those who collect the souls of good people, or those who come to collect the khabith soul, right? Make dua for it. Don't forget to make dua for it, because that is definitely going to be very, very difficult phase. وَكُنْتُمْ عَنْ آيَاتِهِ تَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. And you used to be arrogant towards his signs. وَلَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَ فُرَادًا. And surely you have come to us alone. كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. As we created you the first time. So when we were created for the first time, we came out of the wombs of our mothers. We were alone. وَتَرَكْتُمْ مَا خَوَّلْنَاكُمْ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِكُمْ. and you left behind whatever you gave. Where? In this worldly life. What have you brought? Your social media followers, friends, money that you earned? What materialistic thing is with you? And you will see that there's nothing, not even our children, who are the perhaps our most important or most precious possession of those who have them. وما نرى معكم, and we don't see with you شفعاءكم الذين زعمتم أنهم فيكم شركاء, your intercessors whom you claim that they are among you associates. Where is the Peer Sahib? Where is the Babaji? Where is that God knows who? لقد تقطع بينكم. Certainly the bonds between you have definitely been broken. وضل عنكم ما كنتم تزعمون, and those you used to claim have forsaken you. What was the claim? We are going to be helping you there. Don't worry, don't worry. We are going to be there to help you, to cover your shirk, to cover your inadequacies. No, nothing but your amal. Inna Allah falikul habbi wan nawa. Certainly Allah is the cleaver of the grain and the date seed. Look around you. God of the physical world around you. يخرج الحي من الميت. He brings out the living from the dead. And God of your biological world, from a cell to an entire human being. The chick from the egg, and plants and trees from the seeds, right? Not to be taken in a context of atheism or evolution, but just look at your biological world. Who is the God who is doing it? وَمُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتِ مِنَ الْحَيِّ, and He's the extractor of dead from living. ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ, that is Allah. فَأَنَّى تُؤْفَكُونَ, how have you become deluded? فَالِكُ الْأَصْبَاحِ, فَالِكُ الْإِصْبَاحِ, He is the cleaver of the daybreak. وَجَعَلَ اللَّيْلَ سَاكِنًا, and He made the night to rest. I'll tell you something interesting. So many mental health disorders, their root cause is reversing or messing up with the nature, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made night for us to rest. We keep on scrolling Instagram, our social media. But when we do it, we go against nature. And there is a price that we have to pay when we go against nature. And sometimes that price is in the form of our mental stability and peace. A few hours of sleep at night versus many, many hours of sleep during the daytime. Tell me with your experience which one works better. Nothing can replace the sleep of night, even if you're sleeping the entire day. I've literally seen some children, not mine, alhamdulillah, during their summer vacations, they're sleeping at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. in the morning and waking up 6 p.m., 7 p.m. in the evening. And I'm like, wow, subhanAllah. What to talk of their mental health? So, in order to have a healthy body, biological body, as well as healthy psychological being or psychological existence, and healthy spiritual existence, we must and we need to, and lazim, it is so important that we do sleep properly at night. وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ حِسْبَانًا, and the sun and the moon for calculation, so as to organize the time for, let's say, acts of worship and the mu'amalat, so that one may know how much time has passed, right? Had there been no sun and the moon, and their alternation and changes, most people would not have known these things, and they would not be common knowledge. So we are calculating days and nights and time of, let's say, idda, and the weaning of the baby, all of that. ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. This is the determination of Almighty All-Knowing. وهو الذي جعل لكم النجوم لتهتدوا بها, and He's the one who has made for you the stars so that you may be guided by them. So stars have been used as means to find location while traveling, and this practice has been very common practice before GPS and maps, right? So the travelers would look at the stars and then they'll determine their path. في ظلمات البر والبحر, in the darkness of the land and the sea. قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يعلمون. Certainly we have explained our signs for the people who know. وهو الذي أنشأكم من نفس واحدة, and he's the one who raised you from one individual. Right? Again, Adam عليه السلام. ومستقر ومستودع. So for everyone, there is a place to live and a repository. قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يفقهون. We have explained the signs for the people who understand. وهو الذي أنزل من السماء ماء. He's the one who sends down the water from the sky. فأخرجنا به نبات كل شيء. And we produce with it growth of all things. فأخرجنا منه خضرا نخرج منه حبا متراكبا. Then we bring out from it green blades from which we produce clustered grains. ومن النخل, and from the palm trees. من طلعها قنوان دانية. Of its emerging fruits are clustered, hanging low. So you know when the fruits ripe and they become clustered, they just hang low. So sometimes you can actually raise your hand and grab it. And those of you who are living in Middle East or somewhere where there is enough print, and some part of Pakistan for that matter, where there is enough production of dates, you can perhaps experience this phenomena. وَجَنَّاتٍ مِّنْ أَعْنَابٍ, and the gardens of grapevines, وَالزَّيْتُونَ وَالرُّمَّانَ مُتَشَابِهًا وَغَيْرَ مُتَشَابِهٍ, and olives and pomegranates, similar yet varied. انظروا إلى ثمره إذا أثمر. Look at its fruits when it appears, وَيَنْعِهِ, and its ripening. Do we see, do we contemplate if there is any tree around you? Please look at it throughout the year, right? As a this luckily there's a park right in front of our house, and something that I personally enjoy a lot is to focus on the tree. How many colors, like the same tree, how many colors, how many styles, and throughout the year, right? So many varieties to present. The fruits, the ripening of the fruit, the falling of the fruit, subhanallah. Observe, and also if you have kids, why not involve them or younger siblings in this observation, niece, nephews. And that one observation is enough to help you reach the conclusion that, you know, there is a God behind it. It cannot happen on its own. إن في ذلكم الآيات لقوم يؤمنون. For sure, in all that there are signs for people who are ready to believe. Again, the God of the biological world, and the physical world, and the human world, all these ayat has so much wisdom to offer, and the continuity with these signs show that their creator is one and only God, Allah. But not everyone ponders and reflects, right? And not everyone thinks and understands the intended meaning. وَجَعَلُوا لِلَّهِ شُرَكَاءَ الْجِنِّ. Yet they ascribe jinn to Allah as his associates. وَخَلَقَهُمْ, whereas He created them. Yani Allah created the jinn. وَخَرَقُوا لَهُ بَنِينَ وَبَنَاتٍ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ, and have fabricated for him sons and the daughters without any knowledge, calling Isa alayhi salam the son of God, and angels the daughters of God. Subhana. Exalted is He, وَتَعَالَى عَمَّا يَصِفُونَ, and He is high above what they ascribe. بَدِيعُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, He is the originator of the heavens and the earth. أَنَّ يَكُونُ لَهُ وَلَدٌ, how can He have a son? وَلَمْ تَكُنْ لَهُ صَاحِبَةٌ, while He has no wife. You need to have a wife to bring the son in this world. We do not see that except for Adam alayhi salam, anyone has been born in this world without a mom. And then if you say Allah has a son, you're doing one level of shirk, you'll have to get a step ahead and do another of a level of shirk and say that He has a wife also. وَخَلَقَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ, He has created everything. And hence the reason that some of us are creationists and not evolutionists. وَبِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ, and He is in knowledge of everything. ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ, that is Allah, your Rabb. لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ, there is no one worthy of worship except Him. خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ, creator of everything. فَاعْبُدُوهُ, enslave yourself to Him. وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَكِيلٌ, He is the disposer, caretaker of all things. لَا تُدْرِكُهُ الْأَبْصَارُ, vision cannot perceive Him. our vision. Why? Because our sight and vision and intellect have limitations. وهو يدرك الأبصار. But he perceives all vision. وهو اللطيف الخبير, and he is subtle and aware. قد جاءكم بصائر من ربكم. There has reached you an eye-opening proofs from your Rabb. فمن أبصر فلنفسه. So whoever sees, he does so to his own benefit. Right? I keep sharing this verse with you, where poetic verse, any where Iqbal says, "Dil bina bhi kar khuda se talab, aankh ka noor, dil ka noor nahi." That you also make request to Allah or make dua to Allah to give you a heart that has basira, that has vision, that can see. Why? Because what you see with the eyes is not always reflecting the reality of the things. So you need a heart that is enlightened, that the heart that has a capacity of vision. وَمَنْ عَمِيَ فَعَلَيْهَا, and whoever is blind, then it's against himself, which is not the physical blindness, but the intellectual blindness, not to be able to accept the word of Allah. وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِحَفِيظٍ, and I am not over you a guardian. وَكَذَلِكَ نُصَرِّفُ الْآيَاتِ, and that's how we explain our signs in different ways. وَيَقُولُ دَرَسْتَ, so that the disbelievers may say that you have studied. Where is it coming from? Right? You are uh uh this where is this coming from? The rest is like sort of you write and erase again and again, and this was to teach someone. وَلِيُبَيِّنَهُ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ, and we make it clear to the people who have ilm, who realize, who understand. اتبع ما أوحي إليك من ربك. Follow whatever is revealed to you from your Lord. لا إله إلا هو. There is no one worthy of worship other than Allah. See the recurring theme of Tawheed again and again and again. Why? Because shirk had penetrated inside the hearts of those people in Makkah. And to take something out of a person, once a while reminder doesn't work. You need multiple reminders all the time, most likely, right? And this is not limited to the people of Makkah. Think about yourself, think about myself. I told you, the problem comes, who are we thinking about? If you're thinking about someone other than Allah, and Allah is not the last option, then the shirk has penetrated our hearts as well. Why did Anil Mushrikeen and turn away from the mushriks? Why? Because they keep dragging you to the same path. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكُوا, and if Allah had willed, they would not have committed shirk. وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا, and we have not appointed you as a guardian over them. وَمَا أَنْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِوَكِيلٍ, and you're not their manager. وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, and do not insult those whom they invoke besides Allah. Right? So if you're abusing their gods, if you're abusing Lat, Manat, and Uzza, this is something that Allah clearly asked you to refrain from. What happens if you abuse their god? فَيَسُبُّ اللَّهَ عَدُوًّا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. Lest in retaliation they insult Allah out of ignorance. Right? Abuse and anything that is devoid of morality and respect is used by those who lack reasoning, who do not have anything intellectual or intelligible to say or offer, so they resort to shameless wordings and screaming and shaming and yada yada yada. This does not suit a believer. كذلك زينا لكل أمة عملهم. That's how we have beautified for every community its practices, its amal. ثم إلى ربهم مرجعهم. Then their ultimate return is to their Lord. فينبئهم بما كانوا يعملون. Then He informed them what they had been doing. وَأَقْسَمُوا بِاللَّهِ جَهْدَ أَيْمَانِهِمْ. And they swear by Allah their strongest oaths. لَإِنْ جَاءَتْهُمْ آيَةٌ لَيُؤْمِنُنَّ بِهَا. That if a sign comes to them, they would have definitely believed in it. قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْآيَاتُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Say all signs are the signs with Allah. وَمَا يُشْعِرُكُمْ. And what will make you understand أَنَّهَا إِذَا جَاءَتْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ, that even if it comes to them, they will not believe in it. They were like most of the time they were asking for miracles, 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 miracles. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, even if the miracle come, they're not going to believe in it. وَنُقَلِّبُ أَفْئِدَتَهُمْ وَأَبْصَارَهُم, and we will turn away their hearts and their eyes. If the faculties like eyes and the ears and the dil and the hearts, my apologies, where did the dil come from? That those are not used, their functionality deteriorates, right? So if you don't use your hearing, sight, and heart to understand and embrace the word of Allah, khalas, it will be taken away. كَمَا لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهِ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ, as they did not believe in the first time. So believe now rather than putting it off, it won't appeal as much. وَنَذَرُهُمْ فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ, and we leave them in their transgressions, wandering blindly. وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا أَنِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ.